Today's my birthday, so to celebrate, I made a black cocoa cake with a vanilla bean cream cheese frosting and cookie crumbles. So this cake is pretty simple because I'm bringing it to dinner tonight with some friends, but then next weekend I'm hosting a birthday party, so I think the cake will be even better. For our dry ingredients, we first have some all-purpose flour, and then I'm going to be using black cocoa powder, but you can definitely just do regular if you'd like. I just prefer the flavor for this one. We then have our baking powder, baking soda, and salt. And then in a separate larger bowl, I have some sugar. We then have a neutral oil, and I'm doing vegetable. I'm then going to start mixing this together. Next, I have 3 room temperature eggs. And then finally, I have some buttermilk and vanilla extract. I'm now going to be adding the dry ingredients into the wet, and we'll work to get this folded together. Then finally, I'm going to be adding some hot coffee to this, and you can also just do boiling water if you would like. I then have 2 9-inch cake pans that we'll be adding our batter to. And of course, I'm just eyeballing. So our oven is set to 350, so these can get baked for about 30 to 35 minutes. So while my cake is almost done cooling, I'm next going to be working on our cream cheese frosting. So first I have some butter and cream cheese in a bowl, and then finally I have some powdered sugar, and then vanilla bean paste. So now we're going to start piping it, and at this point you can definitely decorate it however you'd like, but I just decided to add it to a piping bag today. And then finally we'll add some more frosting to the top too. Alright, the top looks a little sad, but I think that's totally fine, and of course I was a bit indecisive for what cake plate I wanted. I'm going to be garnishing the cake with these cookie crumbles. I made these myself, but you can definitely just do crushed up Oreos instead. So I'm celebrating with my friends tonight, but of course I want a piece now. So now for the best part, I get to eat a slice. So the cake is super moist and chocolatey. That's why I love adding the coffee or the boiling water to the batter. And then I love the tang from the cream cheese frosting too. I'm excited to cut this up and share it with my friends later tonight. If you're interested in making this cake, I'll be sure to have the recipe up on my newsletter soon.